What is the purpose of your life?
Harshada, how do you explain to a layman the difference between trade and commerce?
What is the very difference between the CAG of UK and CAG of India?
Why large number of male members in Haryana villages remaining unmarried?
Tell me that how the dignity of a woman is protected under the Indian Constitution.
In similar district, what steps would you take to increase the financial literacy of women in rural areas particularly?
Sita, why do you think you are one of the most eligible candidates for the civil services?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Please be seated. Please give a brief introduction about yourself.
Sir, my name is Harshita Goyal and I am born in Hisar, Haryana, and my upbringing has been from Vadodara, Gujarat. I have done my bachelor's in commerce and I am also a chartered accountant by qualification. My optional subject is political science and international relations, and my hobbies include acrylic painting.
Harshita, tell me why a chartered accountant should want to pursue a career in the civil services?
Sir, chartered accountancy has definitely provided me with the professional success and the financial stability which one would aspire for. However, its scope is limited to the corporate and financial sector, and I am driven by a deeper sense of purpose, and civil services will provide me with the opportunity to engage with the masses at various sectors of the economy at the grassroots level.
What is the purpose of your life?
Sir, my purpose is to create a meaningful life wherein I will derive satisfaction from serving the community and contributing meaningfully to the nation's
Suppose
development.
if you are asked to express your desire to serve in three most important areas of the country, which areas will you select and why?
Sir, first of all, I will focus on empowering the women sections, as I myself being a woman, I know the hardships which the women of the country faces. So I would focus on uplifting them. Secondly, I will focus on the children who are residing in the slum areas, as they are innocent and they have not chosen the life that they live currently. So I would want to uplift them in order to make a better life for themselves. So thirdly, my focus would be on the education, as education will bring long-term changes in the economy and will further drive the nation's growth.
Wonderful. You spoke about women empowerment, isn't it? What is your definition of women empowerment?
Sir, in my opinion, women empowerment is one where women can take decisions for themselves and where they are independent enough, wherein they can live a life of their choice. They are financially independent as well as socially empowered, and they have equal dignity and respect in the society.
Okay. You must have heard the term of glass ceiling and glass cliff.
Yes,
Could you give a definition of these two words?
Sir, glass ceiling refers to a phenomenon where there are various obstructions in the upliftment of women to the higher positions, as they are subjected as being weak or as being caregivers, unsuitable for higher job positions. Whereas a glass cliff is a phenomenon wherein when a woman is empowered on a higher position, there if a woman fails, then it is referred to as subjected to being a weak gender. So glass cliff is an effect where after coming to a higher position, she is subjected to the discrimination, sir.
You must have studied and must have been dealing with activity-based costing system.
I'm sorry, sir.
Activity-based costing system, isn't it? How does it improve efficiency in government working?
Sir, with regard to activity-based costing system, the cost of various activities are determined on the basis of the variable cost which are involved in particular activities. Sir, with respect to the efficiency of government functioning, the proper allocation of cost will enhance the resource efficiency and will subjectively allocate the cost in that sense. So it will drive efficiency by a proper resource allocation and optimum utilization of the resources.
Okay, why the government of India follows cash-based accounting system and not accrual-based accounting system?
Sir, I'll have to read on that.
Okay. One last question from my side. You have been working for last 3-4 years.
Sir, for 1 year.
1 year you have worked.
Yes.
Okay. So, how do you handle criticism?
Sir, I try to take criticism in a constructive manner, as it is only driven for my own improvement. However, having said that, there are a few negative comments that might come in my opinion. I try not to take them personally. I try to learn the lesson which will benefit me in improving my personality. However, the negative comments, I try to avoid them, sir.
So, how this criticism is different from online trolling?
Sir, online trolling can also be considered as a part of criticism. Criticism is a broader term. However, trolling is often baseless and is often subjected based on preconceived notions which one has for the other section or other individual. So, trolling is in a way harmless yet creates a huge damage on the other side. And criticism, if taken positively, can help in the development of the individual, sir.
Have you ever been subject to trolling?
No, sir. Fortunately, I have not been subject to online
Thank
trolling.
you very much.
Harshada, how do you explain to a layman the difference between trade and commerce?
So, trade involves the buying and selling of the goods and services between two companies or between two countries per se. And commerce includes a vast set of activities which includes trade as well as marketing of the goods and all the allied services which are involved in making the product reach to the final consumer from the factory, sir.
And how these two functionaries are different, public accountant and management accountant?
Sir, I'll have to brush up on that, sir.
Okay, there is a certificate course for public accountant that's called CPA. There is a certificate course for management accountant that's called CMA. Very popular programs these are.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because you are born in Hisar, Haryana, and your subject is political science, so explain the relationship between social problems which are prevailing in Haryana, which might reflect in the political space sooner or later.
So one of the major problems that the economy of Haryana faces with respect to the social sector is regards to the discrimination which women are facing there. And it can transform in the political phenomena with respect to underrepresentation of women in the political sphere. Apart from that, sir, due to the underrepresentation, there will be a lack of gender-sensitive policies which will reinforce the social inequities which are faced by the women in Haryana, sir.
And how come it is patriarchy is a self-defeating system?
Patriarchy is self-defeating as it has been in place because of the historical injustices which have been prevailing in the society, and it is also not generating any substantial benefit for the women as well as the male sections, as the male section gets a false sense of satisfaction or security per se by subjecting the male gender as a superior one as with respect to the female gender.
And how if somebody says that, or some people say that males themselves are victims of patriarchy?
So this is a true statement, as males often they are subjected to the societal pressures and they are believed to behave in a certain manner. If in certain sections which are conservative, if the males start uplifting the women, or if they consider that women should work in their family, then they are themselves subjected to the pressures from the community and society.
Why large number of male members in Haryana villages remaining unmarried?
So there is a problem of shortage of brides in Haryana. So there is this phenomenon of brought brides, where the brides are being sourced from the neighboring state and they are being bought there and married for in futile ages.
Is it a threat to the identity of Haryana culture in the long run?
Indeed, sir, as it creates a negative image on the culture of Haryana, and it portrays Haryana in a derogatory sense, as there is a shortage of women there, coupled with the problem of female feticide and the women deaths that are happening at the early stages. So overall, it creates a negative image on the economy.
Okay, coming into the theoretical structure, trace briefly political liberalism and economic liberalism. When did these philosophies emerge? In which way they progressed?
Sir, if I can confirm political
liberalism and economic liberalism, or you can start with liberalism as such.
Sir, liberalism is an ideology where there is focus on the free movement of goods and services based on the market forces. Apart from that, there is focus on the democracy and human rights, which will help in the development of the economy. That is liberalism, sir.
That is economic liberalism.
Sir, political liberalism, I believe, is where there is democracy in the political sphere, coupled with rights with the voters to vote in a certain manner and choose their representatives, or directly engage in the political sphere by active participation.
So, who was the original propounder of liberalism?
Sir, I believe it was Woodrow Wilson who propounded.
Woodrow Wilson.
Woodrow Wilson.
Okay, who was he?
Sir, he was an American economist who propounded the 14-point program for the theory of liberalism.
Which, around what time?
Sir, I'll have to read about that.
Woodrow Wilson was president of US in the 20th century. 14-point program came in the Paris Agreement. It's a 20th century event. Do you think that liberalism is such a new philosophy?
Certainly not, sir. Liberalism has been in our economy since quite some time in the form of mercantile capitalism, which has been transformed time and again into liberalism. However, it has been consolidated in the recent time with proper theories.
Okay, thank you, Harshita.
Harshita, we know we have the office of CAG in the Constitution of India between Article 148 to 151, and we have taken it from the UK Constitution. What is the very difference between the CAG of UK and CAG of India?
Sir, with respect to India, our Comptroller and Auditor General is basically just an Auditor General who does the audits of accounts after the transactions have been taken. However, in UK, he also acts as a Comptroller, where the CAG's approval is required before any transaction takes place. So here, with respect to India, he basically does a post-mortem audit of the accounts after the transactions have taken place. This is the basic
and
difference.
else?
So this is the difference which comes to my mind at the moment.
Okay. We have opted the single budget system in place of the plural budget system recently. And on whose recommendation it was done and why it has been done?
Sir, I am unable to recall the name on whose recommendation it was done. However, sir, the purpose of single budget system is to streamline the resources of the states and the center in order to benefit the economy at large. So as to protect the federal structure on one hand and also to reinforce the unity for the national development of the economy as a whole, sir.
Earlier in plural budget system, there was railway budget and general budget. So they got merged to become a single budget system.
Sir.
So where does the federalism comes over here?
So federalism with respect to the department per se. The railway department had a separate budget and the states had different zones for the railways. So with respect to that, the functioning of different states varied. So in that sense, I believe that federalism gets affected.
Anyway, you participated in the Youth Parliament as a Minister of Law and Justice. How do you see the collegium system at present, on which lot many we can say that blames are there on that collegium system, that it's being nepotism, playing the role of nepotism and all that. If you will have to replace it, what point will you be giving that?
Sir, in my role as the Minister of State for Law and Justice, I was asked to present a bill replacing the collegium system. So in that bill, I recommended a committee wherein there would be 3 independent eminent personalities chosen by the government. Apart from that, there would be representatives from the Supreme Court of India, the judges of the Supreme Court, along with the CJI, who will be choosing the personalities for being the Supreme Court judges. Herein, by replacing the law minister, the Article 50 of the Constitution, which stipulates the separation of powers of the executive and judiciary, is not being violated, as the law minister is not involved in the committee for the selection of the judges. So this is the alternative system which came to my mind for enhancing the transparency of the judiciary and inculcating diversity in the appointment of judges.
Okay, my last question. The consumer right under Jago Grahak Jago are what? Name any 3 rights.
So the first right which comes to my mind is the right to being informed about the contents of the products or the services which they are consuming. Apart from that, the right to proper grievance redressal for the consumers. If they face any discrepancies, they should be subjected to proper redressal mechanisms. So these are the two rights which comes to my mind.
Harshita,
Sir.
do you think happiness can be quantified?
Sir, I believe that happiness cannot be quantified to 100%. However, its indicators can be and its effects can be seen in other sectors which can indirectly quantify the amount of happiness that the people are facing.
Okay, so have you heard of this report called World Happiness Report?
Sir.
Okay, so what are the key determinants based on which the countries are ranked?
Sir, I'll have to read upon that.
Okay, so talking apart from this particular report, according to you, which are the factors which are responsible for the happiness of a population? Say, for example, take the consideration of India.
Sir, with respect to India, the factors which will help in happiness are financial stability, for which the population will be able to achieve their basic needs and requirements. Apart from that, accessibility to education and proper healthcare facilities will also help in reinforcing their happiness. And community engagement will also play an important role, as they will feel a sense of belongingness in the place where they stay.
Right. So talking about community engagement, there are certain sections of our population, particularly the elderly population, which are often found to be suffering from issues related to loneliness. So as an administrator, how do you plan to deal with this problem?
Sir, I myself have been a frequent visitor of the elderly and old age homes, and one solution which comes to my mind is clubbing the orphanages and the elderly homes, wherein the elderly people will be taking care of the orphanage children, and they will teach them the values which are important for the development of a child. And the children will also get elderly as a alternative to the parents. So this will reinforce a sense of familial belonging, and it will also help in reducing the isolation which the elderly faces.
Harshita, what is this concept of community policing?
Sir, community policing is a concept wherein the police or the law enforcement mechanisms are not directly involved in enforcing the laws. However, the societal rules and norms shape the behavior of the community at large.
So is this concept available in India also?
Yes, sir. We have community policing here. For example, if I recall the case of Haryana, so Khap Panchayats is taken in a negative connotation. However, it also acts as a way of community policing in the society.
Okay, so the another dimension of moral policing is often associated with this community policing concept. You mentioned of the Khap Panchayat. So, although it is taken in a very negative context, can you highlight some of the contributions, the positive aspects that relate to Khap Panchayat?
Sir, one positive benefit of Khap Panchayat which comes to my mind is with respect to the implementation of the Beti Bachao and Beti Padhao program. So, Khap Panchayats were instrumental in creating awareness among the communities with respect to proper implementation and saving the girl child.
Okay. Harshita, tell me that how the dignity of a woman is protected under the Indian Constitution.
Sir, under the Indian Constitution, with respect to the fundamental rights, the women have the right to life, right to a dignified life under Article 21 of the Constitution, wherein they have a freedom to choose the person whom they respect to marry. Apart from that, Article 14 of the Constitution reinforces the right to equality for all sections of the society, including women. It is also our fundamental duty to respect the dignity of a woman and not subject them to any derogatory instances.
Okay. Harshita, since you have studied political science and international relations, can you please tell me that which types of borders are more difficult to manage, the land borders or the sea borders?
Sir, both land and the sea borders have their own share of issues, as the land borders are more porous, and if the terrain is subjected to heavy forests or there, so it becomes even more difficult to manage. However, with respect to the coastal borders, there is difficulty as the threats cannot be easily detected given the vast coastline of the India. So both the borders have their
my
own.
last question to you. When we look at the history of terror attacks in India, Mumbai terror attack was a very unfortunate event. and the findings disclosed that the sea route was one loophole that was utilized by the terror outfits. So, how things have changed on ground post that attack?
So post that attack, we have strengthened our maritime security with respect to the Indian Coast Guard and the naval ships which are being built here in the country. Recently also our Prime Minister had inaugurated 3 naval ships in the naval fleet of India, which have strengthened our naval security and the capabilities. Apart from that, we have focused on indigenization of the naval technology in order to create a strategic autonomy and reduce our dependence on the foreign countries.
So the Indian Navy also aspires to become a blue water navy. What is this?
So blue water navy is a term used for the navies which have significant presence and which are capable of safeguarding their interests in all the spheres and all the regions of the economy of the globe. Currently, US is designated as a blue water navy.
Right. Thank you.
Hello, Harshita.
Sir.
Harshita, could you give me some example of sustainable accounting?
So one example which comes to my mind is with respect to the environmental sustainability reporting, which is being promoted by SEBI. So it helps to quantify the impacts of corporates and corporate activities on the environment, the environmental costs which are associated with them, and also the benefits from the corporate activities with respect to the environment. So it will definitely help in enhancing the sustainability in the long term, sir.
What is double entry accounting?
So double entry accounting is a phenomenon where one transaction has its effects on 2 assets of the balance sheet or the profit and loss account. So there are double entries with respect to a particular transaction.
Let's say you are a district administrator in a district and small scale industries are in a declining phase. So what step would you take?
So first of all, I'll help in handling the small scale industries by providing them with the financial incentives and the subsidies, so that they will boost the funding of the small scale industries. Apart from that, I will take the help of the corporate sectors in order to collaborate with the small scale firms so as to provide them with a better market base and the opportunities.
How would you provide them funding?
So for funding, I'll basically take the help of subsidies from the government with respect to the tax holidays which they can get in order to uplift, start their business and give a boost to them in the initial stages. Apart from that, sir, I can take the help of venture capitalists and angel investors which can be incentivized in order to fund these startup businesses so as to help them get a better footing.
Suggest some incentive for corporate sector, hedge fund, venture funds to work with you.
So they can be provided with the tax benefits and exemptions in proportion.
Can you provide tax benefit? As a district administrator, could you suggest some tax benefit to corporates?
Sir, I cannot directly provide them the tax benefits. However, I can recommend the same to the higher authorities and help them in drafting policies which will be suitable for both the venture capitalists as well as the small scale industries.
Okay. In similar district, what step would you take to increase the financial literacy of women in rural areas particularly?
So to increase the financial literacy, I will collaborate with the local NGOs which are working in the rural areas so as to communicate with the women at the grassroots level and apprise them of the financial rights and financial products which are available in order to help them. Apart from that, sir, I will focus on increasing their bank accounts through proper implementation of the Jan Dhan accounts in the rural areas.
Okay, which type of model we use in India with respect to taxation policy?
Sir, I'm
regressive or progressive?
Sir, with respect to the direct taxes, we use a progressive model. However, with respect to the indirect taxes, we use the regressive model, sir.
And there's a curve in economics with respect to taxation.
Sir.
Have you heard of Laffer's curve?
Yes, sir, I have heard of that, but I'm unable to recall the exact concept of that.
What is deep space communication?
Sir, I'll have to read about that.
Have you heard about the satellite NISAR?
Yes, sir.
Which 2 parties are there in collaboration?
So NASA and ISRO are collaborating in order to develop the technology of NISAR.
Tell me something more about NISAR.
Sir, I'll have to read about that.
Challenges for e-governance. What are the challenges for e-governance?
So with respect to e-governance, the first and foremost challenge is with respect to the digital literacy, as people are not aware about how to use the services and how to avail it digitally. Apart from that, there would be the challenge of data security and privacy with respect to the e-governance regarding the vast set of data that is available digitally.
Thank you.
Harshita, why do you think you are one of the most eligible candidates for the civil services?
Sir, I believe that my skill sets as a chartered accountant will help in proper implementation of the schemes and identifying the leakages which are happening with respect to the implementation and funding. Apart from that, sir, as a personality, I believe that I am a empathetic personality which can connect with the grassroots level, as I have myself have volunteered in NGOs, which has helped me develop a sense of empathy for the grassroots level.
Okay, thank you very much, Harshita. It was nice interacting with you. Your interview is over. You may go now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sit down, Harshita.
Thank you.
Your interview is in April, 7th April. Your interview is on 7th April.
Yes, sir.
Okay, a lot of time is there. Which attempt is this?
Sir, it is my first attempt and
First interview.
third attempt. First means first interview.
Third attempt altogether, but first means in first interview. How did you find today's experience with us?
Sir, it was good. However, I feel that I could have done a lot better. I felt that I became quite nervous initially, so that was affecting my quality of answers maybe.
But you see, Harshita, you are a wonderful candidate, I must tell you at the very outset. And you are capable of giving a wonderful performance also, excellent performance. Only thing is that on some issues, you are lacking information. Some issues you could not give a very logical answer, very cogent answers, crisp answers. But those things, a lot of time is there. If you start working on that, you will be able to give. But have belief in yourself, have confidence in yourself. You see, it is a test of your personality. It is not a test of your knowledge, isn't it? Knowledge has already been tested. So personality, we are called in person by the board just to see or look at various aspects of your personality. Because the government of India wants civil servants to be honest, persons of absolute integrity, so and balanced person, non-argumentative person, isn't it? And with a good flair of a good grasp of the language. So on most of the parameters, you found absolutely very good. Only thing is that at some areas you try to make a guess, which should not happen. Most of the time you said no. That's wonderful. If you don't know, you should have the courage to say no. But issues like liberalism and all that, there I think you got confused and then started making some guess. These things should not happen. I will not go into details and all that, but these things should not happen. Then words, regressive, progressive in respect of tax and all that. You said direct tax is progressive and indirect tax is regressive. The regressive word coming from future aspirant, civil servant aspirant is not very encouraging word. You could always say it's less progressive, isn't it? It's a less progressive, it is inverted, and those words can be used. So whenever you are confronted with this kind of situation, be conscious of the fact, be careful about the words which you use. So that is very important. So your answers have to be very crisp, well worded, well meaning. So it has to be very balanced. You can't be expected to take an extreme stance on anything. Always try to weigh pros and cons of alternatives before giving your opinion, if at all you are asked to give your opinion. Now, on the issue of CAG and all that, we wanted to hear more from you. What is the CAG is an institution both in the UK and in our country. How these two institutions are different. There the CAG is responsible to the Parliament. Here, you know, it's not a part of the Parliament. So that, those kind of things, 1-2 more answers would have. And the collegium system also, because you are a student of political science. Collegium system also we wanted to get engaged in a more animated discussion and all that, but that did not happen. So just jot down a few points so that your what is there in your mind, it should come out very clear. As a district magistrate and all that, no point talking about the corporate tax, this tax, because you are working at a very small level where you don't have those authority. You are not a part of the Ministry of Finance, or you are not a part of the Department of Revenue. Therefore, whatever is possible to be done at the level of a district magistrate, just think of those areas and then come out with your answers. It will be a very good performance. Then you have a very varied background. I don't know from which area questions will come to you. You are a girl who has worked in Haryana, who has worked in Gujarat and seen half the country. So some issues related to similarities, differences between these two states on many issues. Then you have a so-called Gujarat model of development. What is that model of development, and what is the flip side of it? What are the shortcomings in the model? And something related to women's status and all that, we have asked you questions and there is no problem. Then other issues are your product of Institute of Chartered Accountants, ICAI, how it is functioning. So do you think that it is playing the role which it should play and all that? And the role of Chartered Accountants after demonetization. So those issues, and then accounting systems when we talk to you, because there were some people who would have worked in the government and also in public sector and all that. So basic principles like what is IFRS, what is IAS, what is GAAP. So those things, what are standards, why do you release many standards and all that, and those kind of, just to test you whether you have really understood the subject or not. Role of SEBI is important, role of RBI, and broader issue is the taxation system and all that. So direct tax, why the country should have both direct tax and indirect tax. If direct tax is there, why only few taxpayers are there? Why millions of people are filing tax returns but very few are paying income tax? Those kind of things. I mean, one area will be, I think, with our assessment, will be revolving around those areas only. Second is your political science. Political science, whatever is happening in the country, recent, that is 498A is very important for the IPC, is very important. So read about that also. Collegium system we have already discussed with you. Places of Worship Act, why it is back in focus and all that. What are the provisions? So many things are happening, and so just have a update on all that. And I don't think you have any problem answering those questions. Then political science has two parts. One is the constitutional part, and another is your India's foreign policy. It is how it has been evolving since 1950, what kind of policy we had adopted, and what is the current policy of India, and how relevant it is. And then the role of technology in the international relationship, that is another big area. How technology is playing an important role and all that. And who is winner in what? Like Ukraine-Russia war, who is the winner? Whether Ukraine is winner or Russia is winner, or both are losers or both are winners, and what is India's stand on that, and why India is taking the stand which it has been taking. Those kind of thematic questions, just to understand you, to know your capabilities, whether you can think differently, you can give out of the box solutions or not, just to see that only. And if you are able to display your innate qualities of head and heart, you will be getting very good marks in the process. So have confidence in yourself, go with a positive body language, smile on face, don't get nervous. From inside you may be nervous, let it not appear on your face. Give a very pleasing look, a look of an enthusiast, so that it should appear to the board that you are liking the interview. Okay. And you have all the qualities of becoming a wonderful civil servant, no doubt about it. And just if you are able to handle the questions honestly, with absolute integrity, you will be getting very good marks, no doubt in our mind. Now, with all that, if you have any questions in your mind, feel free to ask us.
Sir, is my appearance okay? If
Yeah, appearance
this
is
how
okay.
I,
Absolutely.
my hair and
everything is okay. Only thing is there was some amount of pressure on your this thing. So that I understand. It's a big occasion in your career and all that. But try to look more cheerful, happier look. It doesn't cost you any money, isn't it? Try to inculcate that habit. Give a happier look. Body is positive vibes should come. Your communication skill is good. Voice modulation is good. No problem about all that. Only thing is think before you speak. Just collect your ideas for a few seconds and then you go with it. So that you remember all things are there behind the back of your mind. Yeah, just to collect your idea. That's it. Anything else?
No, sir.
All the best to you. All the best.
Thank you, sir.